So when we talk about the mode, it is the most frequent score in our dataset. Sabi nga nila, most frequently occurring score. And on a histogram or a bar chart, it represents the highest bar. For example, we have the following row of data: 13, 35, 45, 55, 55, 56, and 56, 65, and 87, and 89. Kahit hindi ito naka-perfectly arranged, as long as nalaman natin kung gaano inuulit ang number, how many times they were repeated, that means yung most frequent occurring score, that is the mode. For example, sa ating given na data, meron tayong dalawang number na parehas ang kanilang pag-ulat dito. Parehas ang pag-appear ng kanilang scores. That is 55 and 56. Then we have two modes, and this is what we call bimodal distribution. Okay, the question is it possible pa din ba na magkaroon ng more than two modes sa isang array of data or distribution? So the answer, class, is yes. It can be. So those are the multimodal distributions. Kapag ang data natin ay mas malawak, mas malaki, then we can have multimodal distributions. So same lang, class, yung kanyang pag-compute or computation, pipiliin mo lang naman kasi kung alin yung most frequently scores na nag-a-appear. So, pero may iba't ibang implications, class, yun pagdating sa education. Kapag halimbawa, meron kang 4 modes sa students mo, meron silang mga average scores sa exam mo na 90, 80, 70, and 60. For example lang yan. So, ibig sabihin, it indicates a wide variety of levels of understanding kasi ibig sabihin, most of your class nakakuha ng 90 scores, meron namang 80, may 70, and may 60, which is sa first two na 90 and 80, okay pa yung kanilang mga scores, diba? But when it comes to 70 and 60, mag-iisip ka na, teacher, dyan. Kasi bakit ganyan ang score ni student? Na most of your students ay nakakuha ng ganyang score. So mag-iisip ka na ng mga idea mo, type of information which is, it can guide you on selecting the appropriate type of activities na pwede mong ibigay kay student para ma-reach ng students na yon ang passing score. For example, magka-prepare ka ng dalawang lesson plan kasi may mga nakakuha naman ng mga highest score. So, mag-prepare ka ng para sa activity for high achievers, and pwede kang mag-prepare ng other plans, other activities para sa mga lower achievers. Kasi iba't iba ng level ang mga student, di ba? Kaya kailangan ito papasok yung mga differentiated instruction din natin, iba't ibang strategy natin para makater natin ang pangangailangan ng mga students. Ayan. So, yun yung kanyang implications. So, kaya napakahalaga na alam din natin kung paano gamitin or how can we interpret these measures of central tendency. Okay, so now let's have the normal and skewed distributions. So how can we say that a distribution is normal? So that is when most of the values are aggregated around the mean and the number of values decrease as you move below or above the mean. If mean is equal to the median and median is equal to the mode, so that means there is a perfectly normal distribution o kapag may perfectly bell shape tayo nakikita sa ating graph. So that is normal distribution. However, if mean is less than the median and the mode, the score distribution is a negatively skewed distribution, as we can see in the graph. Diba? Kapag si mean is less than the median and the mode, the score distribution is negatively skewed distribution. So, in the opposite side, Kapag naman positively skewed distribution, if mean is greater than the median and the mode, then it is positively skewed distribution. So we can see in the picture how this positively skewed distribution looks like when we graph. Okay. So if scores tend to be high because teacher taught very well and students are highly motivated to learn, the score distribution tends to be negatively skewed and the scores will tend to be high. If when a teacher does not teach well and students are poorly motivated, the score distribution tends to be positively skewed, which means that scores tend to be low. So, class, dito sa ating graph, makikita niyo yung kanya differences ni positively skewed, ni normal, or perfectly normal distribution, and the negative skewed distribution. Since the mode, the median, and the mean define the centers of a distribution of scores and provide the teacher with important information, but they do not present the total picture. That is why there is a need for us to learn about the measures of dispersion, or what we call the variability. So what is the difference of central tendency and the variability? If we say central tendency, it indicates where scores congregate. However, kay variability, it indicates how spread out a group of scores and how varied the scores are. So the common measures under the variability is the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. But first, what is variability? So it refers to how spread out or how a group of score is. Same lang ito kapag sinabi nating spread, dispersion, and variability. Same lang sila ng meaning. It also refers to how spread out a distribution is or how spread the score is. Yan. Kumbaga sa mga students natin, gaano kaya kalapit ang kanilang mga scores o gaano kaya magkakalayo ang kanilang mga scores. So for example, meron tayong student A and student B. We have 555, 66666, and kay student B naman we have 1, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. So kapag i-compute natin yung kanilang mean, same lang sila. Okay, so despite na sila ay parehas ng mean, which is 5.6, we can see on the scores of the students na magkakaiba sila, di ba? Kapag titingnan natin sila in graph, ganito yung si student A sa quiz 1 at si student B naman sa quiz 2. Ayan, so makikita natin yung difference nila. Difference nung scores nila, yung pagkakalapit-lapit at pagkakalayo-layo. Di ba, makikita natin na kay student A, meron siyang pinakamababang score at may pinakamataas namang siyang score. May extremely low at may extremely high. But when it comes to student B, makikita natin halos similar yung scores nila. Ayan. So, although magkakapareha sila ng mean, pero when it comes to distribution, it's quite different. Kay quiz 1, nakapack yung kanyang, densely pack yung kanyang scores. However, kay quiz number 2 ay naka-spread out. So, the differences among students were much greater kay quiz 2 than on quiz 1. Next, we have the range. So, ito yung pinakang simpleng measures na makikita natin kay variability. So, ang kanyang formula lang is range is equal to the highest scores minus the lowest score. For example, meron tayong sa isang klase, sa isang test, si students natin nakakuha siya ng high score na halimbawa ay up to 50, nakakuha siya ng 49. Ang pinakamababa halimbawa is 5. So, is-subtract lang natin si highest score and si lowest score. So, makikita natin yung range nila. So, given the following example, here we have 10, 2, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4. Hanapin natin yung pinaka-highest score, si 10. Pinaka-lowest is si 2. Subtract lang natin. Then, our range is 8.